know. Like, I know, like if the president's like in town, then like he's like brought here, he or she's brought here into like U-Haul, right? So like maybe something for that, like the government or something, or like if they're trying to like get all the deans or something out of here, I don't know.
I've heard that there's like a secret entry, it's like around here, and then it's really dirty inside, so I don't think I want to go.
I want to say it's a myth, but me being like an optimist, I'm like, maybe it's true, like, you don't know.
Well, it's an interesting story. In fact, I tell this story to all the new employees that come in as part of my job here. The Jesuits, of course, had been in LA since early in the 20th century and came out here in the 1920s when the west side of LA was just developing, and built what for a while were the only two buildings on campus, Xavier Hall and St. Rob's. Until recently, I didn't know whether they were real or not, and I've heard a lot of the stories I think that students had heard as well. But it makes a certain amount of sense that these two buildings would have been connected because, as I just said, for a long time, these were the only two buildings on campus, and Xavier Hall was not only the Jesuit residence, but the residence for those few students who actually boarded here. And then St. Rob's was basically the entire school building. As a historian, often the most likely is kind of the most boring, so there is probably a good chance that it had something to do with maintenance and the connection of the two buildings. Because in fact, the maintenance staff used to live in what's now the basement of St. Rob's, and so that might have been access for them just to go through that tunnel. I would hear a lot of the same stories students did, especially about a Jesuit wine cellar being kind of either in those tunnels or somewhere underneath the Sunken Gardens. But certainly this campus was built in the 1920s. That was still a time of prohibition, so it's not completely out of the question. Historically, the Jesuits were considered a secretive or secret society. In recent years, I think Opus Dei, which is another church organization, has kind of taken that role on in the Da Vinci Code and things like that. But for hundreds of years, Jesuits, both within the Catholic world and especially outside the Catholic world, were considered secretive, perhaps conspiring. So there is definitely some substance to the idea that we may not be a secret society exactly, but we've occasionally had to do secretive things.
Hi, my name is Megan Mariani. I work for the Loyolan in Roar, and today we're going through the Sunken Garden tunnels, and we are in front of Xavier Hall, which we think is the entrance to the tunnels, so here we go.
It looks very much like a maintenance tunnel, and if this was actually used for prohibition, that would be very difficult. This is about how wide the tunnel is going to be for the rest of the way down, and theoretically it pops up around St. Rob's in the basement. So I think for safety reasons, this is as far as we're going to go, but the tunnels exist.